Hey Crestwood, happy Wednesday to you. Hope you all are doing well and having a great day as we move through this fall. There's so much good stuff going on here at Crestwood. Hope you get to be a part of that as we move closer to the Advent season. Very glad to bring you this devotional for this Wednesday, November 5th. So I'm a part of a preaching group. We meet once a month and we watch one of our sermons, and then we offer feedback, critique, celebrate, do all the things that we as people who do this for a living can do for each other. It's very instructive for me, a little humbling, but I always learn something when I watch somebody else's sermon or when they give me feedback on my own. And then the other thing we do is we read an article or watch a podcast, something related to preaching, and then we talk about it. And we had our monthly gathering yesterday, and the article that we read was about preaching as resistance. And I found this really, really fascinating because it talked about how do you preach in a way that encourages and empowers and emboldens your congregation to be resistant when things in society are being done that seem to go against the gospel. And, I really struggle with this. I'll be very honest with you, because every time something happens that I feel like is worth commenting on, I always feel guilty that I don't change my sermon to address that. The problem is I would be changing my sermon every week if I wanted to comment on something that was going on in the world that I felt needed to be addressed from a spiritual perspective. So I always try to incorporate something into my devotional or into the prayer on Sunday. But I've never changed a sermon at the last minute to address something going on in the larger culture. And like I said, I already I struggle with that because I feel like, should I be doing more? But this article was really helpful and instructive because it said there's really no sense in preaching a one-off sermon that's a reaction to something that happened because that might have an immediate impact, but it doesn't have a lasting impact. Instead, what this article said that we should be doing as preachers is we should be, I want to make sure I get the words right, we should be preaching in a way that shapes our community, to want to respond to whatever happened this past week in the society. How are we shaping our community to respond to what's going on with immigration, or what's going on with SNAP benefits, or what's going on with healthcare? How are we preaching? How are we living our lives as a church that shapes a community that wants to respond to that? So it's not just a quick hit, well, let's do this or let's do that, but it's something that really helps us dig in to make a difference. And the book we're reading on Monday night in my book study, called No Innocent Bystanders, is about this same thing. How do we become an ally for those in our society who don't have a voice, who need someone to stand up and speak for them, not in a way where they do it once and sit down and pat themselves on the back and say, look how great I did, but a way that they commit to the long haul of living out the gospel in this world, of representing God's kingdom in this world. I hope my sermons do that as I talk about what it means to live with love, with grace, to follow Jesus, to welcome people. I hope over my almost 16 years here now that I've helped shape this community in a way that encourages us to live that out. I still struggle that I don't always respond to that in the sermon, but I also recognize we have bigger work to do than whatever I have to say in 20 minutes on a Sunday morning. And so the work that our Shalom team is doing, the work that our outreach teams are doing, the work that our greeters are doing on Sunday morning to welcome people into the church, everything we do is a way of resisting whatever's going on in the larger culture around us that pushes against the gospel, that pushes against who we're called to be as Jesus Christ. We are called to resist the ways of this world and the evil that is perpetrated by people in this world that work against the inclusive, welcoming gospel of Jesus Christ, one that is focused on love and grace and forgiveness. And I think every day, every one of us has a chance to resist in some way. How do we welcome someone who doesn't feel welcomed? How do we help someone know that they are valued to God, even if they're not valued by others? How do we make sure people are fed? How do we make sure people are clothed? How do we make sure people have places to live and places to go when the temperature gets extreme? All of these are acts of resistance that we can participate in to help make God's kingdom real here on earth. It's so easy for us to feel paralyzed because the need out there is enormous. It's so much greater than any of us could ever address. So it's easy to get paralyzed and think, I don't even know where to start. But doing nothing is contributing to the problem. Doing something, no matter how small, is an act of resistance. And when you're not sure what to do something. Find one small act that can make a difference for one person, because if everybody does that, we start to make a difference on a larger scale. We have the opportunity every day to resist the evil of this world and to shine the light of Jesus Christ. Go do that today. God bless you, Crestwood.